Welcome to the Rapid Research Podcast, where two friends answer the big questions after searching the internet for 30 minutes.
Welcome in to Rapid Research, episode 6. Be sure to follow us on social media, do all that stuff. We don't need to go into that.
We'd love for you to do that.
It'd be so helpful.
Tell
So
a
nice.
friend. I mean, that's probably the most effective tool right there.
Yeah.
Is tell a friend. If you're enjoying listening to the podcast, if you've listened to the other episodes, or maybe this is your first one, if you do enjoy it, could you share it with a friend?
If you have one of those friends who literally your entire relationship is, I send that person memes.
That's an ideal candidate.
Send that person this podcast.
Yeah, and
Because
say,
they need it.
We can bond over this.
Yes, you will actually have something else to talk to them about.
Yeah.
Besides the reels that you sent them yesterday and
Absolutely.
the day before.
Today we're looking at colors. We kind of thought about this a little bit. Just how did orange get its name orange? Mm-hmm. How did silver get its name silver? Was it from the element, or the ore? Which is an element. Or was it from something else? Which one came first? That sort of stuff. We want to look into that today, as well as Crayola. I think that's a given. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Crayola.
You can't talk about colors and color names without talking about Crayola.
Yeah, probably the king of color names. Mm-hmm. I mean, they come up with so many. We got a couple new segments on the show today. Potential hot take heaven coming up here. We've got a new segment called Name It and Claim It. It'll be a game based on colors. Yes. We're also going to be playing a game called Fiction Factor, which is based on fact or fiction, also based on colors today. So we've got a couple new games coming out at you today. It's going to be a fun time.
Tyler, do you have any strong feelings on colors?
Just one.
What is that? Green
is the best color. Fight me.
Okay, so
green is absolutely the best color. Green's the best.
So is that
green is better than any other color on the market? Green is the best shade of any color. It has the best hues. It's forest. It is grass. It is the color of life itself.
Okay, are you saying that you like the color green, or are you saying that green is the most versatile?
I'm saying it's the best color. So yeah, obviously I like the best color.
Right. Back it up. Like, why is green the best?
I already told you, because it is the color of life itself. It is versatile, incredibly versatile. Grass, trees, nature is green. The Green Bay Packers are green.
So if you had to paint your house a color,
I'd throw in some green.
Would you make it blanket green?
Well, and see, that is a different question. It's a great question, because there is potential that I would throw some green in there. But painting your house is a very interesting thing, because you have to do it super, super, super well. Mm-hmm. If you don't, like this green right here, not my favorite. I like it that it's green. It's nice. It's better than if it were kind of a puke green. Yeah. It's a nicer green. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't necessarily choose this color. I like the color on the baby rubber plant a little bit better.
Would you call this kind of an olive shade almost?
I would. Okay. I would. Yep.
So you're not a huge fan of the olive shades?
Well, olive shades have nice ones. Mm-hmm. That's just not it. That's from 2010. So
yeah, that's a 2010 olive.
Yeah. However, Frog over there and Toad, they have a couple nice shades of green.
That's true.
Yep.
They have very nice shades.
Very nice shades. What about you? Do you have any hot takes?
I don't have a particularly strong feeling about color.
Can you see color?
I can.
Good. I can as well.
My dad's colorblind. And
I think I heard that like 1 in 5 males are colorblind.
Yeah, we tend towards it. And I think sometimes it's an excuse for us to not care. Like, maybe I shouldn't be revealing our secrets, but like, if you're just like, oh, honey, I'm sorry, I'm colorblind. Really what that means is I don't care as much as you do.
Like, put together my outfit, I'll wear it, it'll be fine.
Yeah. I do have a hard time stretching in terms of what I try to match. Like, I have like basic, like I know this stuff matches, so I always wear this. Like going outside and trying to like experiment with color is always super dangerous for me because I don't see it well. In terms of
Interesting.
like being able to say like those two things go together is difficult for me.
Okay.
So, um, I've got I kind of stopped experimenting that with that by the time I got out of high school because it just wasn't worth it
So
anymore.
what are your colors as a guy?
Like if I'm going to wear something,
Yep.
I go Batman mode. Just
Black.
it's sometimes very dark gray. like, like, um,
Does it come in
yeah,
black?
I do tend towards darker colors, darker
Okay.
shades, darker colors of anything pretty much, but dark. I do prefer like a more muted
Mm-hmm.
tone, like even like a deep purple or a dark like burgundy style. Those are kind of my places I tend to go
Are
to.
there any colors that you, admittedly, or somebody's told you that you don't look good in?
I don't look particularly good in like neon colors or like really bright colors.
Sure.
They don't go. I've been told I look very good in like deep blue colors
Okay.
because they match my eyes.
Sure.
That's all I know.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah,
Hadn't noticed.
that's the only reason.
I don't look particularly good in like straight red. Like this is a little different, but
Mhm.
if I'm wearing a red shirt, it doesn't play well.
Yeah. Well, you have a very brown face because your eyes are brown and
Yep.
your the rest of your face is brown. So doing more of those like muteds are going to work well for you.
Like a dark green
Yeah, dark green.
works well for me, and then I like different lighter blues
Hmm.
go just fine. Anyway, that was a tangent. We probably never need to go back there again.
Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, we're gonna go research, and we'll see you guys in about a half hour.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back. And that was a little lackluster as far as the research goes.
We're
Ladies and gentlemen, colors are not as interesting as we thought that they
I'm
were.
really disappointed at how uninteresting a lot of this was. I found a few things though that are kind of fun.
There were a few things, as there always are, but uh, the balance between researching colors and researching pirates, very different.
We're starting to find our niches in this show.
And it's pirates.
It's definitely pirates.
Pirates are
Pirates was awesome.
pirates are the alley. We should go back and do a part two sometime.
Part two, pirate.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Pirate part two. I love it.
We could do fictional pirates,
Oh,
which would be fun.
that would be fun.
Okay, so I looked into the history of how colors got their name, and it's kind of exactly how you think that they might get their name.
I'm guessing somebody looked at that and went, "Looks like this."
Yeah, a lot of them had to do with elements like silver.
Yeah.
And to be very clear, most of these came from a previous language.
Mhm.
Most of them came from Old English. Most of them came, from a lot of them came from German. Lots of different impressions on how these got their name. Did you find anything about any specific ones?
I found a few interesting details of how they were made and whatnot.
Okay.
Um, Let me introduce you to a guy named Anish Kapoor.
Anish Kapoor. Where's she
So,
from?
I don't know.
Okay.
I missed that part.
Well.
So there was a is a British company called Nanosystem,
Hmm.
and Nanosystem developed a very very dark shade of black. I believe it said it rejects 99.965% of color.
So
So
that's a lot.
it's very black. The black, like one of the most black marketable colors
Okay.
out there. Um, and at the time, especially, it was the blackest black you could
Hmm.
find. And Anish Kapoor was a well-known artist who was known for using flamboyant colors and, just wasn't super well liked,
Yep.
but was impressive. And Anish bought exclusive rights from Nanosystem to use Vanta Black in his artwork.
Okay.
Now, to you and me, this does not sound like a big deal.
Hmm.
In the artist community, this was an outrage that somebody would be exclusively allowed to paint and use a color.
Right.
Sparked a lot of outrage. So, revenge was had, and a guy by the name of Stuart Semple developed the pinkest pink,
No, no.
and he made it available to the public. You could buy like a jar of it, to use. Available to the public, except for Anish Kapoor.
How did how do how do you do that?
He just had basically said anybody can buy this except for you. And if
Was
you're going,
Anish mad?
I don't know. I couldn't really find it was kind of buried, but he has on his website, Stuart Semple has the place to buy pink. And in it, you have to agree, legally binding, you have no intention of letting Anish Kapoor get his hands on it. And
That's so
it's
petty.
the pettiest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
Artists are another level.
They really
It
are.
might be Anish. He is British Indian,
Okay.
and he's also the one who made the bean in Chicago.
Oh yeah, I
So
thought I
he
knew that name.
so he sculpted it. I didn't. I just looked it up. But he's made a bunch of different sculptors and
Yeah,
come up with
well
different things
respected, but not super well liked is basically what I
by
found.
that one guy
No, I think he wasn't super well liked before, and then everybody just hated him
because
after
he bought the black is
because he
black.
bought Vanta Black. Yeah.
Um, the word green,
Hmm.
because it's the best color, it came from an Old English word, grain, which is related to a Germanic name, groni, which means young or fresh. So it talks about like plants and
Oh,
grass and trees. So that's where it
interesting.
came from, was basically saying
Young fresh
young, fresh nature
thing.
grain. Green. Aha, green. That's basically it.
I love how like it was just like let's just change it ever so slightly.
Yep.
Cool. Is it?
Because we can't just say this is it.
Yeah. Like, can you hand me that fresh paint? No, no, no.
Like, what will green be in 500 years? In
Green.
English, will it be green?
It'll still be green.
Why?
I think it will. I think it'll still be green because it's been green for a really long time, right?
How long?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But what else could it be?
It could be forest. It could be leaf. It
Maybe
could be.
leaves go extinct in 500 years, and then they start looking back, they're like, grass. Maybe that's what it's like, one of those things where they start calling the color grass because they don't have it anymore, and that becomes the new
Mm,
green because there is no green, so they really don't even have a concept of what green is.
huh. That's
Utopian.
really
No,
possible.
dystopian.
Dystopian.
Not
Utopian
utopian.
is not.
Utopian would be a green.
Yes. Very green.
Very green.
Utopian, they'd have to remember gray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Purple comes from the Latin word purpura, which referred to a specific dye that was made from the murex sea snail,
Okay.
which I thought was kind of interesting. That's
Yeah.
basically all that that's as deep as the color purple goes. It was hard to get because it was from a sea snail.
Yeah. Well, I found that Tyrian purple, I think, is closely related.
Okay.
Because it was used by royalty in ancient Rome and Byzantium, came from the Murex sea snail.
That's what I
And
just said.
did you say Murex?
I
I
did.
missed the Murex. But it said it took 10,000 snails to produce 1 gram of dye, which
A
is what
gram?
a gram
Like, that's
of dye
very.
took 10,000 snails, which is why
It
it's
is
so expensive.
incredible what humans are willing to
Yeah,
do.
I was thinking that like if we found out that like
And this has nothing to do, like, I don't feel bad for snails.
no,
I'm just saying it's crazy that you would sit there and go through 10,000 of them to get just a gram of dye.
yeah, but you probably sold that gram of dye for modern day equivalent of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, probably.
So
You want to know what the term beige comes from?
what?
the French word beige. Which I
What
actually
does it mean?
it refers to the natural color of undyed wool.
Undyed wool.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's like
Hmm.
basically before they, when they would shear sheep, they're like beige. It's a beige color, and I guess that's just what they
Which
called it.
is now really fair for how we look at beige now,
Yeah,
as being
it's meh.
yeah,
Like
it's meh.
it could in 500 years, beige could be just meh.
Beige isn't bad unless you chose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If it was chosen for you, you're like, could be worse.
Like my first car
Was beige.
was beige. I think most people's first car was beige. And
It's the car we all deserve.
yeah,
The
we all
1998 Toyota
yeah,
Corolla.
the thing that's at least 20 years older than you
Yep,
are. Yeah,
it's got to be.
or was born a couple years before you
Yep.
were. Definitely. Absolutely what you deserve. Beige, and you know what? It's fun. It's the grandma car you deserve.
Oh yeah,
But if you
it's
have
your
money
identity.
and you choose to buy a beige car, you should be mocked for that. You know?
I think that's a pretty true statement. Like in today's day and age,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's making any beige cars except for maybe Subaru. They have like those muted
I
colors.
feel like I've seen a beige Cybertruck.
That doesn't seem nice.
I know. Well,
The cyber
there's a lot to improve on to start with, but
certainly.
but I feel like I did see a beige Cybertruck recently. I was like, why? Why? Of all the things.
Do you have any colors of cars that besides beige that you never want, like a normal color that you would never want? Because like for me, I'm not a cherry red type guy.
No, that was exactly what I was thinking. I do not want a red car. First of all, it's a cop magnet. Nobody
Yeah,
needs
that's what
that.
I've heard.
I don't want a cop magnet. I would love to have like a bright blue.
Okay.
Like I think that's about as sporty as I want to go. It's like a nice bright blue. Red
Bright
isn't
blues
cool.
are kind of
Yeah.
fun. There's a lot of nice shades of blue.
If I was really rich, like really rich, I might go for like a hot pink because I think that would be kind of cool to show up with your shades on when you're in like a convertible. I think that'd be kind of cool, but you'd
I'm
have to be
pretty
so rich to make it. You have
and
to be
so
so
masculine.
so rich and so masculine. Like we're talking
Joel, I don't think
Fox.
it would
We're
work.
talking. Thank you so much. We're
Not,
talking.
I mean, I'm just,
You'd have to be so masculine. It's
I'm
not going to
just
work for
saying,
you.
I'm just saying, Joel,
I'm talking like we'd have to
I
be
don't believe that pink is the
no,
color for the car you want to
no, no,
drive.
no. I'm saying you would have to be $50 million and 50 million crunches later. Like that's where you'd have to be to make it work. But I think it would be a
At the
cool
same time,
thing.
I don't. Why not just plate it in gold?
That'd be too much for me.
Okay. And the pink is pink wouldn't.
No, that's the thing. Is I don't want like if I bought like a pink minivan, that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
If you buy a pink Ferrari, that's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
It's a little
It's
cool.
not that cool.
It's a
No,
little cool.
you look like Barbie.
Ken,
Okay.
you don't want to be Ryan Gosling.
No, no.
Hmm.
Um, the the color black comes from the German word blackus, which means burnt, which is kind of
Makes
a
sense.
decent
Makes sense.
descriptor. White comes from the Old English word huita, which is related to Proto-Germanic huitage and Proto-Indo-European chiwid, meaning bright or shining.
Look at that.
So there you go.
Did you know that the colors pink and blue used to be reversed for boys and girls?
Pink and really?
Yeah, it
When?
wasn't until the mid 20th century that
No
it used to be
kidding.
considered that pink was the stronger masculine color and blue was more feminine. And they
I
switched in
can
the
actually totally
1950s.
see that because pink would come from red,
Hmm.
which historically has been extremely masculine.
Yeah, like super.
Like you think Roman centurion.
Yeah, you don't think Eric the Red and think what a wimp.
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually I could totally see that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's only about like 70 years ago that changed.
Do you look at Crayola a whole lot?
Not in depth.
So Crayola came around in 1903, and the family was initially people who would make dyes for like shoes and for shoe polishes and stuff. And then they were like, "Hey, let's make crayons
Hmm.
because we have all of the pigments and stuff like that." So they've made their first box. They made like 8 different colors. They're just kind of your normal run of the mill colors like red, blue, yellow, indigo, violet, those.
Hmm.
And guess how much the first box of crayons from Crayola sold for in 1903?
13 cents.
Five.
Five.
5 cents.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was accessible to people.
Hmm.
You know, so it was one of those initial things that really got people into art. It made art accessible,
Hmm.
really. Because I mean, otherwise, you think about it, you have to buy a whole pastel, or not a pastel. What's it called?
Palette.
Palette. You have to buy the canvas. You have to buy all the paints and stuff. And so this made coloring and art actually accessible to normal people when they made these, which is kind of an
Hmm.
interesting thing.
Interesting. I found that the first synthetic dye, Mauvin, was an accident.
No way.
Yeah. An 18-year-old chemist in 1856 by the name of William Perkin was trying to make a cure for malaria,
And he made purple.
and he made a synthetic dye.
What color was the synthetic dye?
It was bright purple. It was a
Okay.
bright purple color, and it became a fashion sensation that kicked off the modern chemical dye industry. I don't think he ever cured malaria,
No.
but the man probably became a
He's like,
billionaire.
well, my work was successful. I've
Task
created,
failed
yeah,
successfully.
that's really funny. Did you know that color is not physical? It's only perceptual.
Yes, I did know this.
I think I knew this, but I didn't really think about it.
Hmm.
So color exists basically as a perception of how your eyes interpret the light bouncing off of
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
And so you have variance in that. Like you might see some colors a little bit differently than I do.
Mhm.
Um, but I just I found that super interesting.
I've been told that specifically the color purple does not exist. That like we look at it and we see something because our brains are filling something in. But as opposed with like a red or something that's based on or many other colors, I guess, our brains do not have the receptor necessary for the color purple.
Hmm.
So our brains just make something up, and that's what we tend to come to. What our brains tend to come to is that specific color. Even so, it technically isn't
How
there.
do you prove
I
that?
don't know. I don't know.
Like
Again, this is
that
something
is the
I haven't
most
researched
mind-blowing,
that hard.
confusing
So
thing that
I
I've
know,
heard.
like, it makes sense.
Does it
I think a
though?
professor told me, but I was like, okay.
Do you remember the dress on social media? The white and gold or blue and purple dress?
No.
Or blue and black or white and gold? You don't remember the dress?
The which one do you see? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
So I remember when that went around. It was a fad on social media. Basically, they posted a picture of this dress and it was supposed to be either blue and black or white and gold.
Hmm.
But depending on how your brain interpreted it, you'd had 2 different camps of people. So they were
Hmm.
commenting white and gold, or other people were commenting blue and black. I remember at 2 distinct times I saw it, same picture,
Hmm.
and I saw it differently.
Hmm.
One time I saw it blue and black, and one time I saw it white and gold.
Yeah.
So I did some research on that and figured out it's how you focus on the shadows. So if you focus and perceive the light in the photo as dim and shadowy, you tend to see the dress as blue and black.
Hmm.
But if you interpret the light as more of a natural or kind of a well-lit picture, you tend to see it as white and gold. And so you could even exit out of the picture, come back, focus on something different, and trick your brain into seeing something entirely different as far as the colors of
Hmm.
the dress, which is super. I find that just mind blowing.
That's really interesting.
Do you remember which one you saw?
I'm looking at it now.
What do you see?
I see blue and black.
Okay.
Huh. That is really bizarre.
It is very strange. That's the last thing I have here
I am
on
ready to move on.
interesting facts. Um, Colors are interesting, but the research about them probably not
No,
all that interesting.
not too much. But I think our games are going to be fun.
Games are going to be fun. All right, moving on.
Name it and claim it. Name it and claim it.
All right, for Name It and Claim It, this is a brand new game. Basically, we have a couple colors that we have found and they don't have typical names. And so Joel doesn't know what colors I found. I don't know what colors he's found. And the game goes like this. I'm going to say the name of the color, and Joel wants to win 3 points based on how he describes that color. He gets 1 point if he gets the base color correct. So if he says its base color is yellow or its base color is blue. Now, if it's a blue and gray, if you say gray or blue, that's correct.
Mm.
And then you get 1 point if you get light, dark, or medium correct. So if you say it's a light blue and it is in fact a light blue, you get 2 points. And then there's one extraneous point if you nail it and you hit it out of the park.
Mhm.
So you can get up to 3 points given by the person who asks the question.
Gotcha.
All right,
Okay.
we'll keep track of these, and then in our next game, we'll take the points that we've won into that next game as well, and see who comes out the other side. So
Okay.
up to 3 points here. All right, Joel, you want to go first?
Sure. Tell me about the color Fandango.
Fandango. Well, I think it's a red color. I think it is a lighter red color that's more in the pink. It's starting to be a little bit more in the pink spectrum, um, kind of like a watermelon type color.
Okay. Yeah, you're completely correct.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very bright pink.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Are you
It's
serious?
like a medium bright pink. Yeah, here, I'll show you. Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That is 3 points for
Okay, you're gonna be
Tyler.
so much better at this game than I
Oh my
am.
goodness, that's 3 points for Tyler.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm
Tyler, your
gonna
turn?
keep track here.
Okay, you got the score?
I got the score.
All right.
3 points. All right. Sang de bouffe.
Sang de bouffe.
Sang de boeuf, if you will. Sang de
I
bouffe.
want to say it's kind of a burgundy color, kind of like a reddish brown, not like super dark, but kind of in the mid zone.
Okay. Is that all?
Edging more towards the red than the brown.
You are correct. It is a reddish color. It
Okay.
is also called oxblood, and it is
Yeah,
kind
that
of
I knew I'd seen it, but
it
I
is
couldn't
kind
think
of
of what it
a
was.
wine color.
Oh,
So
okay.
you said more on the light side. It is very dark.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 1 point
Okay.
for that.
Sounds
But you
good.
got red correct.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
This one is called. Oh yeah.
I was like,
Go ahead.
I was trying to be as
Your
cordial as
turn.
I
Your
could.
turn.
Zomp.
Zomp. That
ZOMP. Zomp.
yeah, ZOMP. That's definitely an orangish color,
Okay.
I believe. And if I'm going to say orange, I would think of it more as a tangerine shade of orange.
Okay.
So lighter orange, not construction, but more of a tangerine. So it has a little bit more yellow in it.
Okay. Final answer?
Yep.
It is a light sea green.
So 0.
Okay.
All right. We're looking here at.
I got what you were going for. If I'd heard Zomp, I go, whoa, like it's got to be
Yeah.
something neon.
We're looking here at verditer.
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 Verditer is a lighter yellow, I would say, where it's almost like that Minions color, but a little bit more pale and a little bit more on the yellow than orange spectrum.
Okay. It is. It is a. It's used to describe how green rust hits copper.
Oh,
So it is a green rust color right there. That
okay.
second one. I may have just
You
showed you.
just showed me all of your
No,
colors.
I showed you one of my other colors.
Okay, we can skip that one.
I'll skip that one. But you got 0 points on that one
Okay.
anyway. So
Sensible hue.
sensible hue. Yeah, that's a good one. This is more of a muted color to start
Okay.
off with. It's an off-white. It's kind of an off-whitey beige color. You think of settlers coming across the country, the pilgrims. This would be the working class color that they would make fabric and textiles out of.
Okay. I need you to give me a little bit more specific base color. Are
Okay,
you going towards
I'm moving
toward tan?
toward tan, an
Okay, so you're going
off-white
on
tan.
the brown spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay. This is tough.
Is it more on the gray
It's
spectrum?
more in the gray spectrum.
Ah,
I'm sorry, bud.
crapola.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Hate to see it. I was close
You
though.
were very close.
Okay, we're looking here at let's see, Melly Cruz. Melly Cruz is the color.
Melly Cruz. I'm gonna say it's a purple. I don't know why,
Sure.
but I think it's like a medium hue of purple. Like it's not super bright, but I wouldn't call it like a deep purple either. It's kind of in that medium, almost edging towards pink, but still definitely
Yeah, yeah.
purple. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You could not be further
Oh
off.
no.
It's honeycomb.
Oh.
Melly means honey in Greek.
Oh, really?
Which is that's kind of a fun
That's
little
cool.
cue.
Yeah. Incarnadine.
Incarnadine, definitely a bluish. It's kind of a lighter blue. You think Mary, um, like the light blue that she had all the time historically.
Hmm.
Light blue.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Okay. Yeah, it's blood red.
What is incarnadine?
Incarnadine. Apparently, Shakespeare in Macbeth used incarnadine as a description of blood. So,
So here's the deal. We're still sitting at 3 points and one
one
point,
point. Yeah.
and that was from round number one.
We've both gotten one correct. You won very correct, and me one sort of correct.
All right, we're looking here at Isabella.
Hot pink.
That's it.
Hot pink, bright pink.
False.
Oh, I went to Phineas and Ferb.
It
That's
is
all I had.
a light tan.
Interesting.
Yep, you get 0 points for that.
Okay.
All right, we got two more, right?
I only have one more.
Right. Each of us has one.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Gamboge.
Gamboge. Um, Gamboge, I feel like would be on in the green spectrum.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a. I'm gonna go with a muted mint green.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's orange.
Okay.
It's actually the color that Buddhist priests use to dye their
Oh,
color.
that's
To use,
kind of a cool color.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of that like brownish
Yep.
orange
Yep.
color. Yeah, it's a very nice color. I like it.
All right.
One more.
We're looking here at Zaffrey.
How do you spell it?
Zaffre.
Deep blue. Like a really, not like sea blue, like slightly lighter than sea blue.
Lighter than sea blue. Okay. What would you liken it to?
Okay, so like, you know, like those like blue Rolls Royce look, where it's like a nice deep blue. but it's not. But you can still very much tell it's blue.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
I
well,
know nothing about
okay.
Rolls-Royce.
So take this,
Okay, yep.
and let's. Is that purple or is that blue? That's
Definitely
blue.
blue.
Yeah, in this lighting back here, it kind of looks purple. So this blue, but like if there was a little bit of Dawn dish detergent on it.
Okay.
Edging more towards Dawn than this.
All right, I'm gonna give you 3 points on that.
Nice.
Yep, it is a
Let's go.
deep blue pigment obtained by roasting cobalt or there it is. All right, so we ended with Joel with 4 points, Tyler with 3 points. All right,
All
moving
right.
on.
Well, we're gonna keep going, and you might be able to catch up.
It's the factor, fiction factor.
For real? You want to do the Spitfire back and forth for the Crayola colors?
Yes, so this is fiction factor. We have a bunch of Crayola colors that we have verified are in fact Crayola colors, and then we have the equal amount, 5 fake Crayola colors,
Oh,
or maybe not equal.
not equal.
Okay, I'll give you a clue though. Then
Okay.
mine are 5 and 5.
Okay. I might have 5 and 5. I didn't count them out,
Okay,
but
well, all right, you go first.
okay. Inchworm.
Inchworm is a real bright green color.
Inchworm is real. Yes, it is real.
Yep,
You're up.
that's because I listed it as well.
Oh, okay.
All right, looking here at Luna Eye.
Luna Eye.
Yeah, as in a red.
Fake.
That is true. It is fake.
Okay. 1-1. Mummy Brown.
Mummy Brown, fake.
That is real. So fun
Oh,
fact, it was discontinued in the early 1900s because they used actual ground mummy dust
really?
to create that color.
How?
I don't
How did
know.
they get a hold of them?
I do not know, dude. But I looked at multiple sources that said that this was factual, that they used this specific color. And then Crayola, after a bit, was like, you know what? People are getting disturbed. We need to stop doing this.
That's wild.
So,
Gel FX Slate.
Gel X. What was it?
Gel FX Slate.
Real.
That is correct. It is real as real gets. It is a gray color, a slate gray.
Okay. Neon Carrot.
Neon carrot, fake.
It's real.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, I stink at this game. Nachos Grande.
Fake.
That is correct. It is fake.
Okay. Here we go.
That is ridiculous. How do you do this?
Cybertruck Gray.
Fake.
Fake. Yeah.
Yes. Now
There
it's
you go.
5-7.
Okay. You're up.
All right, I'm coming back here. I'm gonna get you on this one. We're looking at Manatee.
Real.
How'd you know?
I saw that one.
That stinks. Okay.
Unmellow Yellow.
Real.
That was real. Yes.
Finally. All right, we're good here. 6-8. Piggy Pink.
Fake.
It's real.
Really?
I got you on
Wow.
one. Yep.
Okay.
I got you on one.
Magic Mint.
Real.
That is real.
Yes. All right, we're looking at 7-8 now. I've
Okay.
made it back one. Donut.
Real.
It is fake.
Nice, dude. That's a good fake out.
Thank you.
Well done.
That sounds so condescending.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. No, that was a good one, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. It's 7-8. I'm coming back here.
Atomic Tangerine.
True.
That is real.
True, true, true. Because that's one of mine. True, true, true. Looking at Normandy Gray.
Fake.
That is fake. That's absolutely correct. Junk, junk, junk. All right, what do you got?
Pepperoni red.
You know, I thought about creating that one too. I didn't. It's fake.
It sounds real though, evidently because we both thought about making it up.
It
Oh, that's hilarious.
it's fake. It's fake,
It's
fake,
very
fake,
fake,
fake, fake.
yes.
All right, we've each got three left, I think, here.
I have two left.
You have two left. Oh, yeah, because we're off one.
Yeah.
All right, I've got macaroni and cheese.
Real.
That is correct. I feel like that's a pretty well-known,
Yeah.
well-known one. All right, what do you got?
Yellowstone.
Fake.
That is fake.
Excellent. All right, I got to get you on this one to tie it up. Blue raspberry.
Ooh. Fake.
Yeah, it is fake.
Honestly,
Come
your I gotta
on.
get you on this one is actually what tipped me off.
Whatever. I hadn't even read it yet.
Oh.
All right, what's the last one?
Mellow mushroom.
Mellow mushroom. That's got to be real.
That's fake. It's a pizza restaurant, I know.
All right, last one for me. Uh, umber.
Umber.
Mhm.
Fake.
It is real. Yep,
Really?
it's a natural earth pigment consisting of iron oxide and magnesium oxide. But that doesn't help me. You won 9-11. So excellent work.
Well done. Our first game.
Excellent
Good, good.
work, Joel.
Question of the day.
All right, Joel, question for you here.
Go for it.
Would you rather live in a grayscale world or a Wreck-It Ralph Candyland colored world?
Grayscale.
Why do you say
You
that?
know I have ADHD. I would die, bro.
Would you
I
actually?
would, I would be so overstimulated at all
All the
times.
time.
At all
You
times.
walk outside and you're just like, I cannot
I
do
can't
this.
right now. Like, okay, I would love to visit Wreck-It Ralph esque worlds where it's like, wow, like that's fun. Like, I love Times Square.
Okay.
Like, I could have spent hours at Times Square. I loved it, but I need to be able to leave Times Square.
And
You
in a
know,
Wreck-It Ralph
there's
in Candyland, you can't really
you can't leave
leave.
Times Square, and I need to be able to leave Times Square.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense. So that is like that's a pretty easy question for you.
very easy. How about you?
I think I would go grayscale as well. Because there are people that already live like that and their quality of life is just fine. I wonder if how much your quality of life would decline if you were constantly living in a Candyland-esque colored world.
Mm, a lot.
I think
Like,
I don't think you would last. I think people
no.
would go crazy because I don't like you're not
I
meant
think
to.
we'd go from like everything's great to Lord of the Flies really fast.
Yeah, you absolutely would. It's like nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
Our world is a joke.
It is.
What do you got?
Okay. You are gifted an absolutely awesome car.
Yep.
Okay. It is a really deep red,
Okay.
but it's just off enough that it's not a normal red.
Mm-hmm.
It's technically blood red.
Okay.
And people keep asking you, what color is that car? Are you saying sang de boeuf, or are you saying incardine to avoid saying blood red all the time?
So the question is, am I going to say sang de boeuf, also called oxblood,
Hmm.
or am I going to say what's the other one?
Incardine.
Incardine. I like saying de boeuf. I don't have an issue saying that it's oxblood because it's a really cool looking color.
Yeah, it is a very cool color.
Like what's your why would you not want to say sang de boeuf?
Um, I would want to rather say incardine.
Why?
I would rather because I think it sounds more like a real color, and you're not going to have to define it. Because if you say, okay, if I
No, I totally get what you're saying, and that's a
see
really good
if
point.
somebody comes up to me and says, "What color is that car?" and I say it's sang de boeuf, they're going to go, "What's
What?
that?" If I say it's incardine, they're going to pretend like they know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
yeah,
like
uh-huh.
it's like if someone says, "Oh, it's chartreuse." I couldn't tell you what chartreuse is, but I've heard chartreuse all the time.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
totally right.
so I'm never going to ask what's chartreuse because I want to look like an idiot.
That's a very real thing for people where it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but just gonna kind of go along with it,
Hmm.
and like that's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. But
What we learned today.
What did we learn today, Tyler?
well, I learned that the color of rusty copper is one of the coolest looking colors of all time. It's
Yeah.
it's that greenish, minty green, and I've always loved like a minty green
Hmm.
anyway because mint is awesome,
Hmm.
but this takes it to a new level.
I learned that purple is one of the most problematic colors in
Yeah,
history.
totally.
like like everything that ever happened about like expensively or accidentally or whatever came down to a purple.
Yeah, and not even to mention the slugs that you gotta get
Yeah,
it from.
that'd be a
Ten
pain.
thousand for a gram.
10,000 for a
Nuts.
gram is
Absolutely nuts.
insane.
All right, thanks so much for being with us on episode 6 of the Rapid Research Podcast. Next time, we're going to be talking about pizza, everybody's favorite topic ever.
Hmm.
It's my favorite topic, even
At all
more.
times.
Yeah, every day of the week. We're
Yeah.
talking about the evolution and the creation of it and the interesting stories, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And we'll go through a game with pizza toppings
That sounds great
next
to
week.
me.
We'll see you guys then.
Later.